hello to the camera and to the ether. I'm just gonna focus that up pretty bit, real quick. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Um, Today I wanted to talk about the story of the rebirth of the eagle. The story goes that at 40 years of age, with wings heavy of long accumulated oil and dirt, with beaks and talons worn with use, the eagle has a tough choice to make between dying now or enduring something equally painful for a chance at more. It would have to break its beak, its talons, and pluck out each one of its feathers to molt anew, renewed and strong. At least that's how the story goes. And all that, the whole phenomenon, is a myth. And that is not what I'm here to talk about, whether it's a myth or not. What I am here to talk about is the belief that a story can move a man. That, real or not, a story has the ability to inspire what even the truth of one's life cannot. That we become so compelled to look outward for their supposed inspiration that we go to the extent of fabricating stories of what we seek in our own life. That we need some proof, some reassurance in following what our, let's call soul, guides us to, and that we look to stories to fulfill that. There is a lot of power in stories, but that is entirely up to us to determine how much power a particular story has over our life. And more often than not, we are encouraged or rather even bullied into complacency with the grand narrative of normalcy. To that I say, fuck it. Be weird. Within reason, without hurting anyone else, but be weird. And if you ask me how I would define weird, I'd say weird is anything that doesn't strike you as normal but still feels like something that you want to do. Weird could be something as trivial as, you know, just for the fuck of it, not turning and facing the doors in an elevator because you want to see how the reaction would be. Or trying something new at the gym because you think it might work out. Chances are, pretty much everybody that's done anything that they are known for has done something weird, because if they are known for it, it goes to show that there was nothing like it before them. Like, the example that I really like is the Fosbury flop. So, before the Fosbury flop, which is named aptly after the guy that made it, there was a very specific way that high jumps would be attempted that, well, let's just say that it looked really graceful, but wasn't to the maximum level of performance that you could achieve. So what the Fosbury flop would do is have the high jump attemptee or athlete run up to the bar, jump, and mid-air twist backwards. So they could put their center of gravity below their body, giving them just a little bit more height. Now, how it looked was, I'll let you Google it and be a judge of that. But I'd say it looks very funny. But it doesn't matter. The game is of getting to the most height. It doesn't matter what is weird. It doesn't matter if it's funny. It doesn't matter if it's off. It doesn't matter if it's not, protocol. If it works, it works. And too often in our lives, we don't experiment enough to figure out what works for us. Too often in our lives, we're bound by the expectations of the things around us, of the people around us, of so many of the invisible chains that bind us. To all of that, I say, if you have within you a motivation or a question that is strong enough to inspire you to fabricate stories, then it's clearly strong enough to fight that chain, to break away all of those invisible chains, one by one, of course. Because you can't take on all of the world at the same time. Much to my chagrin, you can't even take on more than two, three things at the same time. You're just not built for it. So maybe make it a quest to do one thing that is outside of how you would describe your character, but something that you've been meaning to you've been meaning to do for a long time. Because that, in my opinion, is the only way that you stay alive. And alive not in the physical sense of it's alive in the whimsical and spiritual sense. Because if you measure, or rather if you determine whether a thing is alive by its capacity to change and respond to stimuli outside, it is essentially the death of the soul for you to be doomed in repetition and to be bound by some kind of expectation. I'm not able to figure out the right word here, so let's assume that is expectation. So don't let your soul die, I guess. Disclaimed. I myself am figuring out this life thing, so I might be very wrong with the advice I give you. So take it with like 3 tons of salt. Good night to you, to the camera and to the ether, and fares whenever you watch this.